Hey guys, the Elusive Pixie Chi here, and today we're going to be reading Chapter 10 of My Immortal. Chapter 10 looks pretty short, so I think if we have time, we're going to zip on through to Chapter 11 and maybe 12, but we'll see. So let's get this started. Chapter 10. As always, I'm not reading the stupid author notes, and now she's taken to calling her readers fags on top of everything else. Oh, and gay fags at that. Redundant? Much redundant? Anyway, let's get started. I was really scared about Voldemort all day. I was even upset when to rehearsals with my gothic metal band Bloody Gothic Rose 666. Oh, wow, so edgy. I am the lead singer of it, of course you are, and I play guitar. People say that we sound like a cross between GC, Slipknot, and MCR. Of course you do. The other people in the band are Bloody Mary, Vampire, Draco, Ron, although we call him Diablo now. He has black hair now with blue streaks in it. And Hagrid. I'm kind of curious if Hermione is even in this, and if she is, what have they done to ruin her? And if you know, maybe drop some hints, but don't actually tell me, because this has just been an interesting little romp full of all sorts of both hilarious and terrible surprises, and I want to keep it that way. No spoilers! Anyway, because a friend was telling me that they've done... I mean, I already know that they've done a lot to mess up these characters. Obviously, Harry and Draco aren't gothic Satanist freaks, but... Okay, this is... What compels someone to do something like this? I just honestly don't know. Only today, Draco and Vampire were depressed, so they weren't coming, and we wrote songs instead. I knew Draco was probably slitting his wrists. He wouldn't die because he was a vampire too, and the only way you can kill a vampire is with a CROSS spelled for some reason. There's no way I'm writing that. Or a steak. And Vampire was probably watching a depressing movie like The Corpse Bride. I honestly found The Corpse Bride very touching and uplifting, to be honest, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I didn't think it was depressing. I mean, yeah, it got sad at times, but nothing that's like, is okay. It had a happy ending for shit's sake. Why are you... Okay, whatever. I put on a black leather shirt that showed off my boots. No, sorry, that's wrong. I put on a black leather shirt that showed off my boobs and tiny matching miniskirt that said Simple Plan on the butt. Yeah, 'cause you're simple as fuck. You might think I'm a slut, but I'm really not. Oh, sure you're not. I'm sure that most girls in high school, dress like you, and oh, you're stupid. We were singing a cover of Helena. Oh god, for a second that actually made me think of my Thief OC Helena, and I was be cool. She needs a song. Somebody get on that, write Helena a song. She's so badass. She's actually a good character again, unlike this bloody piece of crap. And at the end of the song, I suddenly bust into tears. I'm wondering if sometimes my mind does this, where I accidentally read a word that as how it should be, because I almost read it as burst into tears, which would be the proper way to write a sentence like that. And it's like I almost have to catch myself to make sure that I'm reading it as it was just... It's like it's written so terribly that I have to make sure that my mind doesn't misinterpret it as correct, if that makes sense. Ebony, are you okay? Who's this? Ebony, are you okay? Bloody Mary asked in a concerted voice. What the fuck do you think? I asked angrily. I know that wasn't the right stress on that sentence, but I don't care. This story does not deserve my best rating. And then I said, well, that should have a comma, but let's not get into technicalities. You don't know the first thing about writing, so I'm not going to judge you anymore unless something really stupid comes up. But I'm not going to judge little minor grammar things anymore, because what's the point? This story is a mess. Well, Voldemort came and the fucking bastard told me to fucking kill Harry. But I don't want to kill him because he's really nice. Even if he did go out with Draco. But if I don't kill Harry, then Voldemort will fucking kill Draco. I burst into tears. Suddenly, Draco jumped out from behind a wall, so he was spying on them the whole time. Okay. Why didn't you fucking tell me? He shouted. How could you fucking poser muggle bitch? I started to cry and cry. Draco started to cry too, all sensitive. Then he ran out crying. We practiced for 1 more hour. Then suddenly, Dumbledore walked in angrily. Why does that have an exclamation mark? His eyes were all fiery, and I knew this time it wasn't 'cause he had a headache. Oh my gosh. Does anybody listen to Bad Creepypasta on YouTube? There are these really cool British dudes, and they read terrible creepypasta stories live, kind of like how I'm doing, but I'm doing it with fanfiction. Okay, because I actually I think I feel, or at least have some semblance of how they feel right now reading this shit, because it's like it's hilarious, but at the same time, you know better, and it's it's a good feeling and an awkward feeling all at the same time. What have you done? He started to cry wisely. How do you cry wisely? I don't know how that... Ebony Draco has been found in his room. He committed suicide by slitting his wrists. Okay, I don't care about that. Okay, back it up a little. He wouldn't die because he was a vampire too, and the only way you can kill a vampire is with a CROSS spelled for some reason. There's no way I'm writing that, or a steak. You see? She established, not that she's a good writer or anything, or knows anything about what she's talking about, but she established that the only way to kill a vampire was by a cross or a stake, which I'm not sure those are the only ways, depending on, which lore you're into or which type of vampire. You can also decapitate them and stuff their mouth with garlic, or silver sometimes works. Anyway, she obviously, as much as she acts like she loves vampires, yet again, this is a writer who's writing about vampires and doesn't know the first thing about vampires. And I am far from the first person to not only be insulted by this, but also just sick of it. So, thank you, Stephanie Meyer, for a legacy of pain. But thankfully, there are writers who are trying to make both werewolves and vampires cool again, so... But that's a rant for another day. But look, I'm just saying, she established that, he couldn't die that way, and then he dies that way. Is that supposed to be for dramatic effect? Okay, that's stupid. On to the next chapter. Chapter 11. No, I screamed. I was horrified. Bloody Mary tried to comfort me, but I told her to fuck off. Oh yeah, that's great. Friends trying to comfort you. That's nice. You're such a nice person, Ebony. And I ran to my room crying myself. Dumbledore chased after me, shouting, but he had to stop when I went into my room because he would look like a perv that way. I thought she was going to say something like he ran out of breath because he's an old man or something. Now, that would have actually been kind of funny, rather than distasteful and stupid. Anyway, I started crying tears of blood, and then I slit both my wrists. Yeah, my friend warned me she was going to do that again. They got all over my clothes. Don't you mean your blood got all over your clothes? So I took them off and jumped into the bath angrily while I put on a Linkin Park song at full volume. I grabbed a stake and almost stuck it in my heart to commit suicide. I was so fucking depressed. I got out of the bathtub and put on a black low-cut dress with lace all over it, sandly. Why do I feel like most of the parts with Ebony to describe her character are merely describing her outfits? That's not a good sign. I put on black high heels with pink metal stuff on the ends and 6 pairs of skull earrings. I couldn't fucking believe it. Then I looked out the window and screamed. Snap was spying on me, and he was taking a videotape of me, and Lupin was masticating to it. They were sitting on their broomsticks. Oh boy. Ew, you fucking perv, stop looking at me naked. Are you pedos or what? And I should have a question mark. Oh, I said I wouldn't do that anymore. Ah! I screamed, putting on a black towel with a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. Suddenly, Vampire ran in. Abracadabra, he yelled at Snape and Lupin, pointing his womb. His womb? Is that wand? What? I don't know. Whatever. I took my gun and shot Snape and Lupin a gazillion times, and they both started screaming, and the camera broke. And that's all that happened. They didn't, die or anything. Suddenly, how do you have that many bullets? Suddenly, Dumbledore ran in. Ebony, it has been revealed that someone has... No! The epic no shout. Wouldn't be a bad movie, book, etc. without it. He suddenly looked at Snape and Lupin, and then he waved his wand, and suddenly... Hagrid ran outside on his broom and said, "Everyone, we need to talk." Also, if I'm mispronouncing any of these characters' names, like the characters that are actually in J.K. Rowling's original work, I apologize profusely to Miss Rowling, her fans, and the entire literary community as a whole. What do you know, Hagrid? You're just a little Hogwarts student. I may be a Hogwarts student, Hagrid paused angrily, but I'm also a Satanist! Oh yeah! This cannot be, Snap said in a crisp voice as blood dripped from his white hand where Dumbledore's wand had shot him. There must be other factors. You don't have any, I yelled it madly. Lupin held up the camera tray. Triumphantly. Ooh, that's a very bad butchering of the word triumphantly. The lens may be ruined, but the tape is still there. I felt faint, more than I normally do, like how it feels when you do not drink enough blood. Why are you doing this? Lupin said angrily while he rubbed his dirty hands on his cloak. And then I heard the words that I had heard before, but not from him. I did not know whether to feel shocked and happy or to bite him and drink his blood because I felt faint. Because, Hagrid said. He paused in the air dramatically, waving his wand in the air. Then swooped he in, singing to the tune of a gothic version of a song by 50 Cent. Because you're gothic, Snap said in a little afraid voice, because he was afraid it meant he was connected with Satan. Because I love her! Gross. Chapter 12 looks a little long. We'll stop here. Okay, guys, and that concludes our reading of My Immortal, chapters 10 and 11. Join me next Wednesday as I read chapter 12 and possibly onward. For all my American listeners, I want to wish you a very happy, a very warm, and a very delicious Thanksgiving. This is the Elusive Pixie Chi, signing out. Bye.